live on the show.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us for ours. You know, there is a resource on the interwebs. You know it as the Wiki.
As the Wikipedia. Have you ever gone there to get information or to look something up?
Sure.
Right, it's on the internet, so it must be true. Well, we know that is not necessarily the case for anything, and especially with Wikipedia. Of course, they've been criticized in the past for some of their biases. And to talk about this, we brought in our expert, David Klinghoffer, Senior Fellow at Discovery Institute. You can find them online at evolutionnews.org. He's also the editor of Evolution News, the daily voice of Discovery's Institute Center for Science and Culture. David Klinghoffer, welcome to Experience Pros.
Thank you so much.
David, wait a minute. When I was a kid, they had door-to-door salesmen that sold encyclopedias, and parents of all ilk bought them because they were guilted into a proper education for children. Now we've got Wikipedia, and it's just the same thing, right? It's free. But it's on the interwebs.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's interesting about encyclopedias now. You can't even buy one. Even if you go to a used bookstore. They're not for sale. They're considered to be junk and disposed of.
Junk.
Wikipedia, though, is incredibly influential in the way that people form their opinions, and it's reliable for some things that are not controversial. For example, if you want to know the population of Pittsburgh, then by all means, you can check it out on Wikipedia. But anything that's controversial is a big problem.
What do you mean?
I'll give you one concrete illustration.
Sure.
Well, the editors of Wikipedia are, as everyone knows, volunteers. They're also non-experts. They go by pseudonyms, and often fanciful pseudonyms, and they often have an axe to grind.
Let me interrupt you for just a minute.
Sure.
Isn't it true, David, that I am the editor of the Wikipedia?
Isn't it a collaborative? Like anybody can edit Wikipedia?
Not quite so simple. In theory, yes, but if you make a correction, we have at Discovery Institute, because our area is intelligent design, which is a controversial subject. We have a lot of experience in this. If you try to make corrections, and there are many things that in Wikipedia need to be corrected, but if you try, what you run up against is that there's this volunteer crew, sort of a masked mob, that will immediately, if you make the correction, they'll immediately be on the scene within 2 minutes. We've timed it to erase or revert your correction. And so this is a group of people that are they wield power because they're totally dedicated to Wikipedia. And few of us have the time or inclination to do that. I mean, we couldn't because we have a family, a job, a community, other commitments. But for these people, this is their hobby, and many of them, as I said, are quite open about their personal agendas. So we had an experience with one of our scientists, Gunter Beckley, who at the time was is a paleontologist who studies dragonflies from tens of millions of years ago. Very notable and distinguished guy, scholar and scientist with huge publication portfolio to his name. And he came out at a certain point in his career as a supporter of the theory of intelligent design.
Okay.
And sometime after that, editors at Wikipedia decided to take a second look at his entry on Wikipedia, which included a very brief indication that he now supports this alternative theory to the theory of Darwinian evolution. And they conducted an inquiry. And it is a public discussion. Anyone could read, and anyone can read their discussion. It's still online. And they decided that he was not, quote, notable enough, and erased his entry.
Who erased the entry?
Well, there's the editor who's in charge of this procedure does not go by a real name. He goes by a couple of different pseudonyms. The pseudonym he used in this case was Jojo.
Jojo.
And he is Jojo, and he no last name, and he identifies himself as a 23-year-old boy, he says he prefers to be called a boy living in Switzerland, and he has an alternative identity as a 500-year-old wizard. So this is
I shouldn't laugh at that, huh?
Individual. You think
I was going to say,
can't make this stuff up?
Which one is not plausible?
So this individual was the one who was sitting in judgment, and at the end of the day, over how notable the German paleontologist Gunter Beckley is.
So he deleted Beckley's. I'm sorry, but I'm watching the time. I got to get through this. He deleted Beckley's
entire entry.
All right,
and it cannot be brought back under the rules of Wikipedia. It goes to show that when you look something up on Wikipedia, unless you look behind the scenes, which you can do, you have no idea who put that information there, who is editing it, who is maintaining it, and it's like a funhouse.
Yeah, one must ask the question: How does one take credible a site where one of the editors proclaims to be a 500-year-old wizard?
Right? I had no idea.
Just got out of school himself.
And I think in an element of it, like so many people just kind of know that, okay, it's anonymous contributors. This isn't really where we go for facts, for all the facts, but there is some element that you would think that what is on there is true, or that they wouldn't delete something just because, we don't kind of like that.
What's the solution, David?
The only solution is to be a genuine skeptic and to not trust anything you see on Wikipedia, and tell your friends and tell your family members and tell your kids' teachers to really discourage kids from using that resource.
Okay. All right. Is there any information you'd like us to share with our audience for if they want to continue this conversation with you, perhaps?
Certainly. Well, they should definitely check out our website, which is evolutionnews.org. And we make one of our interests is in trying to hold Wikipedia's feet to the fire. And they really, if only to alert our readers to the fact that they must always be skeptical when it comes to that resource.
And these days, like with the fake news and there's so much going on the internet and sharing and where do we actually even find, who can we actually trust anymore? But we should all be holding each other accountable and, no matter what the outlet is. So David, thank you so much for being with us today.
So much.
Wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
A $500 or 500-year-old wizard,
Jojo,
who's got a runny nose, just coming out of school, taken to school, and something that
shoot. Right.
One of the things I found interesting about David and his site, Evolution News, is they provide original reporting and analysis about all of it: evolution, neuroscience, bioethics, intelligent design, and everything, which is pretty balanced. I thought that was impressive. All right, gang, we'll be back. This is Angel and Eric on the Experience Pros Radio Network.
America's home for positive business talk. You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Contact them on the web